Hi there, Renaissance guy, trying to change and heading out to the gym as usual. A bit of a late start this morning, but it is what it is. You know, we all can't be perfect in our routines. But I just wanted to do a quick video while I'm heading out to the gym, and first of all, I'm actually starting to get a little something like. I'm definitely getting my arms back, which is a good sign. And although it isn't about training, but I will say very quickly, when you start to see the extremities such as arms, back and chest and legs starting to lose body fat, give it a few give it a few weeks, and very soon you'll start seeing changes on your stomach and chest. In a few weeks, probably around about 8 weeks, you'll start seeing the difference, which is pretty cool for me. I'm on the right track, and as always, take the wins when you get them. Now, talking of wins, changes and everything else, I'm going to speak a little bit, I'm actually going to do a little bit of a segment on today's attitudes and today's kind of modus operandi, if you will. And I've seen it on both the left and the right side of things, and I've seen how people will say one thing, but they adamantly refuse to address any points made by what the other side says. Now, for example, I have to say that there's been a few times where I have questioned things, and as Ronald Reagan said, trust but reaffirm. Now, all too often we see in today's society that people will read something, they will absorb something, and they will say, well, because A, B or C have said this, then therefore that must be the case. Or some people might have a particular frame of mind, and they will say, well, that person is this, so therefore this, and this. And when you try to bring up points with any of these people, and they could be friends, and I'm going to say here, it's not worth falling out over friends with. They just happen to have a different opinion than you. It is what it is, you know. You're never going to change a person, you're never going to change the points of view, and some of these people will still, after years, perceive you as a certain way, even though life experiences will have changed you. Believe it or not, I was actually, when I was younger, and it does seem to happen with the youth, idealistically, you have a liberal to left mentality because you haven't experienced as much as life. When you get older, you do tend to become a little bit more conservative in your thinking and ideology, and you do tend to, if you allow yourself to grow, to become more aware that there is more to things than meets the eye, that there is more to actually question and actually debate. And the more you talk with the people who are so entrenched in what they believe, the usual response is to say, oh, you're part of a cult, or you're part of this or you're part of that, and they will throw either insults or flag you as something instead of addressing the points that you have made. They say, oh well, this is, so you're this, or you're an idiot, or you know, they'll come out with insults, or they will swear at you, or anything else, and it really doesn't actually win or resolve any sort of conflicts or any sort of thing. It just basically means that they're so entrenched in an idea that they refuse to change their minds. I have always, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not going to be, I'm not perfect, and sometimes I get into a frame of mind and I will, you know, kind of dismiss people off sometimes as A, B or C, but I try to really kind of see what's happening. Now, at the moment, we have a lot in the media that literally are subverting the masses, trying to get a narrative, if you will, of what things are. And I'm talking about anything in the world. I'm talking about the problems with Russia at the moment. I'm talking about the problems with the Middle East and all this kind of stuff. And even in the UK at the moment, we have a government that is so entrenched in their own agenda that they are failing to see that they are literally destroying the country. But their agenda gets pushed forwards, and they try to say, oh well, we're doing this, we're doing all these things, but in reality they're destroying the country. However, a lot of effort's been made by our government at the moment to get people to see, oh well, actually this is what we're doing, and if you don't agree with it, then we're going to call you alt-right or far right. I've even been called by a Labour candidate because I questioned them. So, oh, you're one of those far right people. A Labour candidate in Skipton, where it's heavily conservative, and it's no way to convince other people that, you know, to come to you. So I always have a rule is that I watch what people do. If you really want to know what's happening, look, I'm really going to be honest. If you really want to know what's happening, is watch the political debates live. Make notes of what these people are saying. Make notes of what they do, how they act. Actually watch what they're doing live, because a lot of stuff that happens is live now. Okay, the mainstream media are having to do a lot of catching up to keep things live, but you can actually, a lot of these institutions actually have things where they actually record things live, so the world can see and watch what's happening. And it's true, the world is watching. And then when you actually see actually what's happening, you don't need to rely on the media, which have been known to conflagrate, to falsely represent things. You don't need to rely on them. You can actually see with your own eyes and draw your own conclusions. But unfortunately, I'll repeat, unfortunately, there are people still clinging to the media and what the media says. And I'm going to come right back to it and say, trust, but reaffirm, do your research. The best example I can give that is, I watch a channel called Metatron, the Metatron Speaks. I'm not in any way affiliated, or I'm not in any way, involved with him, but he actually said that somebody on one of his videos, it says somebody said something, and he actually recognized it, and he actually thought, oh, that is interesting. But he went back to the sources and the historical documents and reaffirmed what that person said. It is not enough to merely say, oh, that newspaper or that media outlet or social media has said this, this and this, so therefore it must be true. We cannot afford to do that. We need to be looking directly at the people, making notes of what our leaders say, and question them. Why have you done this? And instead of throwing off, oh, you're far right or whatever it might be, accept the fact that people may have points. And finally, and I say finally an awful lot, and it is finally, when people present with points and say, well, what about a list of points that are given? Don't be afraid to respond to those points. Say, well, this indicates this, this indicates this. Discuss, debate, but don't do it don't do it to make somebody look like an idiot. Okay? Respect the other person. And there are some people, there are ideas that I do not respect. So there's very few people. There are some people who I do disrespect, but they are very few and far between. I do not respect skewed and false narratives and ideas. I reject those. But I won't label that person as being something when they are merely adopting a philosophical ideal where they are investigating or researching something that they themselves might believe in. You know, at the end of the day, making another person look like an idiot is not winning. Okay? Coming to the truth and actually coming to a realization and recognizing somebody's intelligence, even though they may think differently from you, recognizing their intelligence and debating them with them as an intelligent person is the main rule that we all need to live by. So just a few interesting thoughts, and it is absolutely true. We do actually rate how intelligent somebody is by how closely they think to us. And that isn't always the case. Other people may think completely different to us, but still be just as intelligent. So those are a few thoughts on today. I have a rule that if I actually post points and somebody starts calling me names or somebody starts saying this, and it happens a lot on Facebook, social media, mate, it is what it is. But what I do is I make my statements, and when I start seeing these, I don't block the person. I just basically stop any notifications on that comment, and I delete the notifications and I carry on. I let other people discuss what if they want to talk about me on that and actually say stuff, then that's fine. Let them do it. It doesn't stop you from living your life and living to the fullest of your creation. You know, social media, next week it'll be something else and somebody else will be something or other. So a few thoughts on that. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Hope I have helped in some way to help people become better. Hope my thoughts on life help people. If not, hey, no skin off my nose. I just enjoy doing these videos. I don't look to get monetized or anything. I do ask though that if you do like, and if you do agree, or if you could think it will help someone, like, subscribe, and share the videos with somebody who could use a few thoughts on life. Because let's face it, we're all in this life. It's tough going, and it is a mean and nasty world sometimes, but there's a lot of good in it as well. and I'm just trying to inject a little bit of that goodness and a little bit of help and clarity and the experiences I have to help other people. Have a great day.